Welcome to the Deep Dive, the shortcut to becoming truly well-informed. We take stacks of sources, research, and expert analysis, and we distill them into the most powerful, actionable knowledge available.
That's the goal.
Today, we are cracking the code on a seemingly simple skill that is, well, paradoxically, often the biggest mental stumbling block for English learners everywhere: starting a conversation.
It really is the hardest lift, isn't it? You can know all the complex grammar, the tenses,
Right.
but then you're face-to-face with someone, and that moment of hesitation,
Yeah,
that fear maybe of choosing the wrong first word, it just stops everything.
totally. It doesn't matter if you're traveling or maybe preparing for an international call.
We're just trying to chat at a bus stop.
Yeah,
That initiation, that first moment, that's where the friction is.
exactly. Sometimes starting is the only hard part. You know that moment of silence where you're thinking, okay, do I sound polite enough?
Is this too formal, too casual?
Do I, interrupt them with a compliment? Is that weird? Our mission for this deep dive is, well, to get rid of that friction completely. We're providing a clear step-by-step roadmap pulled straight from our sources.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond those, rigid textbook lines you memorize.
We're really aiming for what you might call strategic fluency here. This isn't just about memorizing, say, 5 phrases.
Right.
It's more about understanding the social geometry, if you will, of starting a conversation.
Social geometry, I like that.
We've extracted these concrete, actionable phrases and really looked at why they work, when they work. The idea is to turn that nerve-wracking moment into something easy, predictable even. This deep dive is basically your shortcut to conversational confidence. We're giving you the blueprint for those first crucial minutes of any interaction.
Okay, let's build this conversation then. We need that very first block, that foundational utterance, which brings us to step I, the essential first word, the foundational greeting.
Right. And when you look at all the beginner materials, there's one word that just comes up again and again. It's universally recommended because it's, well, universally safe.
And that is?
Hello.
The classic.
It is a classic start, and for good reason. Our sources really emphasize that hello carries basically 0 risk.
Right. Doesn't matter who you're talking to?
Friend, teacher, complete stranger, high-stakes meeting. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hello is just pure neutrality, but polite neutrality.
Okay. Safe bet. No, what about its sibling? Hi.
Yeah. Hi. And this is where we see a really important cultural shift, actually.
Huh?
Traditionally, maybe decades ago, hi might have been just for people you knew well, friends, maybe colleagues.
Right, more informal.
Exactly. But the language, especially in public spaces, has become significantly more informal over time.
So for a learner today, how should they view hi? Is it still maybe too informal for, say, a shop assistant or a casual work chat?
Not really, no. The analysis shows hi is now incredibly common. It's acceptable in most everyday places, a shop, a cafe, post office, you name it.
Okay.
It signals a slightly more relaxed tone than hello, sure, but it's definitely not considered rude.
So how do you choose?
Think of it like this. Hello is what you use when you want to be absolutely sure you sound formal, maybe a bit more distant.
Okay.
Hi is what you use when you want to sound perfectly natural, friendly, approachable.
Yeah.
For most people, most of the time, hi is probably going to be the go-to.
That's a really useful distinction. It sort of gives you permission to relax a bit, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now, if you want to dial up the politeness just a notch or maybe acknowledge the context, the time.
Ah, right. Use the time of day.
That's where we bring in specificity. These time-specific greetings, they inherently add this layer of nice and polite nuance.
Okay, so first one.
The first one, and it often feels the most kind of enthusiastic, is good morning.
Yeah, it does feel like a happy start to the day. So for our learner, what's the exact window for good morning? Does it stop precisely at 12:00 p.m.?
The precise rule, which is probably best for learners to stick to at first, is basically from when you wake up until 12:00 midday.
Okay, clean cutoff.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Culturally, sure, you might hear someone stretch it if they wake up really late, maybe say it at 12:05.
Right.
But the formal, polite boundary, that's noon. It's just a wonderful, affirming way to start any interaction before lunchtime hits.
Okay, so the clock ticks past 12:00 p.m.
And we're officially in the afternoon.
Exactly.
So from 12 p.m. until roughly 5:00 or maybe 6 p.m., we switch to good afternoon.
And this feels a bit more formal again, perhaps?
It can, yeah. If you're entering a meeting midday or addressing a group, good afternoon, sounds very professional, very polished. It shows you're, aware of the time and context.
Makes sense. And then as the day winds down, the sun's setting, maybe 6 p.m. onwards if you're arriving somewhere for the evening.
That's good evening. Perfect for when you arrive at a theater, a restaurant for dinner, meet someone later in the day. Generally, yeah, once it starts getting dark.
Okay, this all seems pretty logical. Morning, afternoon, evening follows the clock.
Right.
But you mentioned earlier a politeness trap, a really critical distinction that our sources stressed we need to clarify.
Ah, yes. This is crucial.
It's about good evening versus good night, isn't it?
Exactly. This is where so many learners make a mistake, a really foundational one. They see good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all used as greetings.
And naturally assume good night works the same way.
Precisely. But the analysis of actual usage is crystal clear. Good night is not a greeting, ever.
Okay, so hard and fast rule for good night. What is it?
It is strictly an expression of departure or sleep.
Departure or sleep. Got it.
It only works as a form of goodbye, specifically at night. If you're leaving a party, leaving someone's house late.
You say good night.
Yes. Or if you're telling someone, wishing them well before they go to bed, you say good night.
That is such a vital piece of information. So just to be clear, if I show up at a dinner party at, say, 7:30 p.m. and I greet the host with good night.
The social interpretation is just confusion. Maybe even mild offense, depending on the person.
Because I'm basically saying...
You're just saying, okay, I'm off to bed now, goodbye.
Yeah.
The moment you've arrived.
Right. Not a good start.
Not at all. The proper arrival phrase, no matter how late it is, 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m., if you're arriving, it's always good evening.
Until you're actually leaving.
Until you're physically walking out the door. Then it's good night. That arrival versus departure distinction is absolutely fundamental if you want to sound natural.
Okay, super clear. So, we've made contact. We've used a polite greeting, hello, hi, or one of the time-specific ones.
Yep.
Now we need step 2, the crucial follow-up, checking in.
Yes, the how are you moment.
The absolute staple of pretty much every English interaction, right?
It really is. And it's more than just a question. It's like a social ritual.
Why is it so important?
Fundamentally, it's friendly. It immediately shows the speaker cares, or at least is doing the polite thing of acting like they care about the other person's well-being.
Right.
In a lot of English-speaking cultures, if you skip this step, it can just sound a bit abrupt, maybe even cold or impersonal.
Okay. And here's where we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the standard textbook reply.
Ah, yes.
Every single English learner knows this one and probably defaults to it. I'm fine, thank you, and you.
And look, it is the perfect, safe, polite answer. There's nothing grammatically wrong with it. But like we said about wanting to sound natural, if that's the only phrase you ever use, you can start to sound like you're just reciting from a script.
Right. It breaks that feeling of a real spontaneous conversation.
Exactly. So the goal here is to expand your vocabulary just a little bit so you sound more natural, more engaging.
Okay, let's start with the positive options then. What if I'm actually having a really good day? I feel great. I want to convey that energy.
Perfect. We've got several excellent, very natural alternatives. If you just feel generally good, you can shorten that standard reply, use contractions. Contractions make you sound much more native.
Like?
Just, I'm good, thanks. See? The contraction, it's short, it's positive, super common.
Okay, I'm good, thanks. Nice and simple. And if I want to inject even more enthusiasm, like, things are brilliant.
Right. If you feel genuinely great, really enthusiastic, things are going super well, you can level up to, I'm great.
I'm great.
Yeah. And our sources point out, choosing that reply, it instantly kind of raises the emotional temperature of the chat.
How so?
It's almost like an invitation for the other person to be a bit excited with you, or at least curious about why you're great.
That makes sense. But hang on, what if it's the opposite? What if I'm actually having a genuinely rubbish day? Maybe I missed my train, I'm late. I don't want to lie and say I'm great, but equally, I probably don't want to dump all my problems onto someone I just met or a shopkeeper.
That's an excellent point. And it touches on the sort of cultural psychology behind this whole ritual.
Okay.
In most casual English interactions like this, the expectation isn't usually for absolute brutal honesty. It's more about polite minimization.
Polite minimization. I like that. So how do I do that?
Well, if you are having a pretty terrible day, you could use one of these phrases that are honest, but still neutral and don't invite too many follow-up questions. Like, oh, I've been better, thanks.
Okay, I've been better. That signals something's up without being dramatic.
Exactly. Or another one, maybe slightly more informal. Oh, just surviving, thanks.
Just surviving. That feels very understated. Very British, perhaps.
Can be, yeah. It perfectly communicates, I'm struggling a bit, but hey, I'm managing, and I'm not going to burden you with the detail.
Right. It avoids needing a 20-minute therapy session right there.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But what if it's not terrible? Just average. An acceptable day. Not amazing, not awful.
The neutral options.
Yes, the crucial neutral options. And native speakers use these all the time.
Why are they so important?
They help you sound relaxed, sort of unflustered. The main acceptable neutral options are, I'm okay, which is perfectly fine.
Simple enough.
Or the extremely common and actually quite polite phrase, not bad, thanks.
Oh, not bad. That's a brilliant one. Can we just unpack the cultural meaning of not bad for a second? Because it seems to mean more than just not bad.
Oh, it absolutely does. Not bad is a perfect example of English understatement, especially, as you say, in cultures influenced by British English.
So what does it really mean?
It means something like, things are satisfactory, they're perfectly acceptable, I don't have any major complaints right now, and I'm coping quite well, thank you.
Wow.
It's like this subtle assertion of mild success, but without any bragging. It's an incredibly useful phrase for any learner aiming for that natural sound over just literal translation.
So, okay, relying only on I'm fine is correct, technically.
Yep.
But using this wider range, I'm great, I'm good, I'm okay, not bad, maybe even been better, it just makes you sound much more nuanced, more connected to the real flow of conversation.
Absolutely. It shows you have more tools in your toolkit, and, crucially, once you've given your answer, whichever one you choose.
Ah, yes. The next step.
The reciprocal inquiry. You must ask the question back.
Non-negotiable.
Pretty much, in polite conversation.
Yeah.
The standard is, and you. Or even more common in conversational. How about you?
Why is this so important? Is it just politeness?
It's politeness, but it's also about keeping the conversation going. It's like a fundamental social contract.
Yeah.
You acknowledge their question, you give an answer, and then you return the serve. You pass the conversational ball back.
And if you don't, if you just say, I'm good, thanks, and stop.
The conversation just stalls, dies right there. And yeah, it can come across as slightly rude or maybe just disinterested, even if you didn't mean it that way.
So that reciprocity, asking back, is just as important as the greeting itself.
Absolutely. And that shortcut, how about you?
Yeah.
It's just a hallmark of natural spoken English. It's efficient, it's polite, and it closes that loop effortlessly.
Excellent. Okay, so we've greeted them, we've checked in on them, and they've checked back. Now we hit step 3. This one's only needed if it's the first time you're meeting this person.
Right.
Introductions and connection.
Yeah. Time to say your name. And the key things here are clarity and ease.
How do we do it?
Our sources recommend 2 really simple methods, depending a bit on formality. The slightly more formal way, which guarantees maximum clarity, is just, my name is name.
Okay. Clear, classic, always works.
Yep. The alternative, which is honestly what most native speakers tend to use in casual chats because it's quicker, is just using the contraction, I'm name.
I'm right.
Both are absolutely excellent. One tip from the sources. If you happen to have a name that's maybe difficult for English speakers to pronounce, it's worth just enunciating a little bit more clearly during this part. Just helps avoid confusion later.
Good tip. Okay, so I've said my name. What's the immediate next move?
The immediate crucial next move is asking for their name. This is the second time we see this required reciprocity thing.
So I have to ask.
We have to ask, what's your name? It's just fundamental to a polite introduction.
Okay. They tell me their name, then what?
Then, the instant you hear their name, you use the bonding phrase, the one that locks in that new connection.
Which is?
Nice to meet you.
Ah, yes. Nice to meet you.
It feels like the verbal handshake, doesn't it?
It really does. It's that explicit signal of friendliness, of accepting this new relationship, however brief it might be.
And again, there's a required response here, isn't there? You can't just leave nice to meet you hanging.
No, you absolutely can't. The other person must respond. And the expected standard reply is, nice to meet you too.
The to at the end. We don't need to get into the grammar, but socially, why is that to so vital for the flow? The to is like a strategic conversational closure for this specific part.
Okay.
It confirms the feeling is mutual. I'm also nice to meet you. It stops any awkward pause where someone might wonder, oh, did that introduction land okay?
Right. It closes the loop.
Exactly. It closes the introduction loop, basically signaling, okay, we've exchanged names, we've acknowledged it positively, we're both comfortable, now we can move on.
Okay, let's just quickly run through that whole intro sequence again, just to feel how smooth it is.
Sure. I'll start. Hello, my name's Paul. What's your name?
Hi, Paul. I'm Emily. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Emily.
See, seamless. Like 3 or 4 lines, maybe 5 seconds.
Yep.
And you've established names, politeness, connection. That sequence is now just hardwired. Done.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to step 4. And this is the part where I think a lot of learners freeze up.
Why is that?
Because they maybe confuse starting a simple conversation with needing to suddenly discuss, I don't know, quantum physics or philosophy.
Right. The pressure to be interesting immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But we're just talking about launching the conversation with really effective starters.
And the sources define this as finding a small topic to talk about, something inherently easy and simple.
That's the key. Low stakes. That's what you're looking for.
So what makes a good low-stakes topic?
It needs to be universally accessible, something anyone can talk about. It needs zero specialized knowledge. And, crucially, it needs to be non-controversial.
Okay. Which brings us to starter 1, the absolute #1 most famous conversation starter across pretty much all English-speaking cultures.
Has to be the weather.
The weather, of course.
It just works. London, Los Angeles, Sydney, doesn't matter. It works because, well, everyone can see it. Everyone experiences it.
Right.
It's a safe, shared observation. You're never going to offend someone by commenting on the clouds. Well, probably not.
Okay. So if it's a lovely day outside, what are the simple, positive phrases we can use to get the ball rolling?
You could start with just a general observation. It's a beautiful day today. Simple. Or maybe, the weather's really nice today. But here's where we can elevate the technique a little bit, especially for you listening to this deep dive. We bring in the question tag.
Ah, the tag. Like, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, grammatically, it's a question tag, but think about its strategic function in a conversation.
Okay, what does he do?
Well, if you just say, the weather's really nice today, the other person can just nod, maybe say, and stay silent.
Right. Conversation potentially dead again.
Potentially. But when you add that tag, the weather's really nice today, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're using grammar to basically force them to respond verbally.
Ah, because it's a direct question now, even though it feels like a statement.
Precisely. It turns your observation into a mandatory prompt for agreement or disagreement. It guarantees the conversation continues.
So they have to say something like, yes, it is, or, it's a bit too hot for me, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And either way, whether they agree or disagree, they've given you something to respond to. It's a mechanism for actually sustaining the dialogue beyond one turn.
That's a really powerful little trick, just adding, isn't it? Or doesn't it?
It really is. Okay, let's quickly cover the weather vocabulary review from the sources, just to have options.
Good idea.
Obviously, you've got sunny or cloudy. You've got raining, or talking about rainy day. Then temperature, cold or hot.
Simple enough.
A nice phrase for transition might be, ooh, it looks like it might clear up later, don't you think? Again, using that little tag.
Right.
The brilliant tip here, which is just always true, is you just need to look out the window. The topic is always right there. You always have material for starter 1.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's starter 1, the weather, supercharged the question tag. What's starter 2?
Starter 2 is all about injecting positivity and creating a quick connection. It's the compliment.
Ah, giving a compliment. That feels inherently positive, doesn't it? Makes the other person feel good straight away.
It usually does, yes. A compliment is simply saying something nice about a person. But we need to analyze the risks here, especially for a learner.
Risks, like sounding insincere.
That's one, yes. But also, choosing the wrong type of compliment can be awkward. So, for a learner, the advice is, stick to low-risk, non-personal compliments.
Okay, what counts as low risk?
Think about things that are visible, tangible, things the person chose, but that aren't part of their inherent physical appearance.
Examples.
The sources suggest things like, I like your shirt, I like your shoes, or maybe your bag is very nice. These are safe.
And high risk would be?
Complimenting things they can't easily change or didn't choose, like, I like your eye color, could be okay, but a bit personal for a first interaction. Definitely avoid things like commenting on weight or specific facial features. Too risky.
So the rule is, compliment their choices, clothes, accessories, rather than their innate characteristics.
Exactly. That neatly avoids most potential awkwardness. And the simple, required reply from them.
Just thank you.
Pretty much. Thank you. Or maybe a slightly more enthusiastic, oh, thank you so much. The source analysis really highlights how this simple exchange creates instant positive momentum. It's hard to feel negative when someone's just said something nice to you.
What about that cultural thing where some people feel they have to deflect a compliment? Like, oh, this old thing, I got it ages ago.
Yeah, that happens. It's kind of modesty reflex.
How should you react to that?
Just accept it graciously. You don't need to insist. If they say, oh, it's really cheap, you can just smile and maybe move on slightly. The key point, though, which the sources stress,
Yes.
is sincerity. Only give a compliment if you genuinely mean it. Don't just use it as a tactic if you don't actually like their shoes. People can often tell.
Right, authenticity matters. But used sincerely, it's a powerful tool.
A very powerful tool, a very positive way to start talking. Okay, let's move to starter 3. This one's a simple inquiry. Asking about the day.
Okay, this feels like a natural follow-on, maybe after the initial greeting and how are you exchange.
Exactly. Or maybe if you know the person just a little bit. It's friendly, shows continued interest. The standard phrases are super simple. How was your day? If it's later. Or maybe, are you having a good day? If it's ongoing.
Right. And the expected good answers. Keep it positive or neutral.
Generally, yeah. Things like, it's going well, thank you. Or just, it's good, thanks.
Thanks.
Again, keeping it fairly light for a casual starter.
And we absolutely must reinforce that friendly shortcut for asking the question back.
Yes. Don't forget to return the question.
Use.
How about you?
Got it. How about you? Concise, polite, does the job perfectly without repeating the whole, are you having a good day, question.
Precisely. Keeps the conversational tennis match going.
Okay, so we've got weather, compliment, asking about the day. That feels like a solid base. But, sometimes those might feel a bit generic. Did the sources offer anything else? Maybe something more contextual.
Ah, yes. That's an excellent point. And it leads us nicely into what we could call starter 4, the contextual observation, or maybe the shared location starter.
Okay, so this moves beyond the universal topics.
Exactly. This is critical for stepping into slightly more advanced, or at least more tailored, conversation initiation. This starter uses the immediate environment, the situation that you and the other person share right now.
How does that work?
The key is to comment on something that's happening now, or something that's present in the space you both occupy.
Okay, give me an example. Say we're both standing in a really long queue at a coffee shop.
Perfect. You observe the shared reality. You could say, wow, this line is moving slowly today, isn't it?
There's that tag question again.
See? It works perfectly here, too. It acknowledges the shared, slightly negative experience in a light way and invites agreement. Or maybe you see they're holding a program for an event nearby.
Yeah.
You could ask, oh, are you heading to the concert tonight, too? You're opening the door based on that shared context, that shared potential experience.
Okay, I see. It feels more specific, more relevant to the immediate moment. What about, say, we're in an office kitchen and someone's clearly struggling with the fancy new coffee machine?
Ah, perfect opportunity. That's where you can use a contextual offer of assistance, which doubles as a conversation starter.
Like what?
Something simple like, oh, you need a hand with that machine. It could be a bit tricky sometimes.
Ah, nice. Helpful, low risk.
Exactly. It's task-oriented, it's not personal, and it immediately establishes a brief interaction. The core insight here is that your physical context, wherever you are, provides an almost endless stream of safe, relevant things to comment on or ask about.
That's really useful. So you're never truly stuck for a topic if you just pay attention to what's around you.
Pretty much, yeah. Look around, observe, comment, maybe add a tag question.
This has been incredibly structured, really detailed. We've gone through greetings, the follow-up, introductions if needed, and now 4 distinct ways to actually launch the conversation topic.
Right.
So let's move into section 6, synthesis and application. We need to put all these pieces together now and see how they work in a real-world flow, not just as a checklist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's the sequence, the combination, that makes it feel natural. So, quick review of the steps. Step 1, greeting.
Hello, hi, good morning.
Step 2, the follow-up.
How are you? How about you?
Step 3, introduction, but only if it's needed. First-time meeting.
My name is Amon. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, too.
And step 4, the conversation starter.
Weather, compliment, day question, or contextual observation.
That's the basic anatomical structure of a quick, polite interaction.
Okay, so let's revisit that extended role play from the source's The Bus Stop scenario. At this time, let's really analyze the strategy behind the flow, how they combine these steps.
Yeah, this scenario is brilliant because it really shows how strategically sequencing these simple elements makes the whole thing feel much richer and more natural than just the words themselves might suggest.
Okay, so how did it start? The greeting, obviously. Making contact.
Right. One person starts simple, hello.
Hmm.
The other responds, maybe slightly more casually, oh, hi. Okay, contact made. Low-level rapport established.
Then what did they do?
Straight into starter one. The weather. It's the default safe choice when you're standing outside waiting for something.
And the phrase used was powerful, wasn't it?
It was. The weather is really nice today, isn't it?
Boom. The tag question, forcing a response.
Exactly. And the other person has to respond verbally. Yes, it is. It's so sunny. Much better than yesterday.
Ooh, notice that. They didn't just agree. They added a little detail, much better than yesterday.
Yes. That's a great sign of engagement, moving beyond just the minimal required response. And the first person then picks up on that detail by saying, I agree, yesterday was so cloudy. So now they've established this tiny bit of common ground, this micro rapport, based on shared observation of the weather yesterday and today.
Okay, so they've bonded slightly over the weather. What's the next strategic move?
Now that there's a little connection, they escalate the intimacy slightly by moving to step 3, the introduction.
So they didn't introduce themselves right at the very beginning after hello.
No, they waited until a shared topic, however small, had sort of bonded them first. It feels more natural that way. The line was, by the way, my name is Paul. It's nice to meet you.
Perfect timing. And of course, the immediate, required, reciprocal response follows.
I'm Emily. Nice to meet you too. Connection locked in. Names exchanged. Politeness confirmed.
Okay, where does the conversation go from there in the example?
It then moves smoothly into starter 3. Asking about the day.
Right.
Paul asks, are you having a good day? It's friendly, it maintains that positive momentum they've built, but it doesn't demand any deep personal information. Still quite light.
And Emily's response, positive and reciprocal.
Yep. Yes, it's a good day, thank you. And then, crucially.
How about you?
Exactly, using that excellent, efficient shortcut.
And Paul responds positively.
My day is going very well, thanks. And then, just before the interaction might naturally end, he does something clever. He layers in another starter.
Which one?
Starter 2, the compliment.
Adding an extra boost of friendly connection right at the end.
Precisely. It makes Emily feel acknowledged and valued, leaves a really positive final impression.
And the compliment used was low risk, right?
Perfectly low risk. The line was, oh, and Emily, I like your scarf. It's a beautiful color. Complimenting a chosen accessory. Safe, easy, effective.
And her response.
The appropriate, grateful reply. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind.
And then the bus arrives, presumably.
Exactly. The whole exchange wraps up politely just seconds later.
Wow. Okay, when you break it down like that, it was like a 5-point strategy, executed perfectly in maybe, what, under 2 minutes?
Probably, yeah. Greeting, weather, with tag. Introduction, timed well. Day question with reciprocity. And a final compliment. It incorporated pretty much every technique we've talked about.
That's fascinating.
Exactly. And the analysis really reinforces that idea. The secret is just to start with something small and simple, yes, but the underlying strategy is often about gradually escalating the level of connection.
From non-personal observation like the weather,
to sharing personal details like names,
to offering personal validation through a compliment.
It's a smooth progression.
That really clarifies things. Okay, that brings us toward our final section, conclusion and ongoing practice. We've shown, I think, that starting a conversation isn't some dark art. It requires just a few core phrases, but more importantly, a clear strategy.
It really does come down to that, plus attitude and presentation. And we absolutely have to circle back to the single most important nonverbal element in all of this.
Which is?
The smile.
Yes, the smile, the universal pre-greeting.
It truly is. A smile is just so incredibly important. Why? Because it instantly signals to the other person, I am friendly, I am approachable, I am open to talking.
Even if your first word comes out a bit shaky.
Even if you completely stammer the word hello, if you're smiling while you do it, that smile often overrides the small linguistic stumble. It sets the tone for a positive, forgiving interaction before you've even spoken perfectly.
That's huge. We also need to address that fear factor again, the attitude towards making mistakes. It holds so many learners back.
Yeah, and our sources are absolutely unequivocal on this point. Mistakes are going to happen. They are inevitable. And they are fine.
Really? Just fine?
Yes. They are simply part of the learning process. The truly important thing is that you try. Any native speaker listening is almost certainly going to focus on your positive intention, your effort to communicate.
Not on whether you use the perfect verb tense in your first sentence.
Exactly. The sheer act of initiating that conversation, of trying, that's what matters most for your long-term improvement, getting over that initial hurdle.
Okay, one last strategic element we probably should touch on, thinking about that bus stop scenario. What if the bus doesn't arrive? How do you politely end a conversation you've successfully started? The exit ramp.
Oh, that's a great point. Crucial for advanced application, really. You can't just, turn and walk away mid-sentence.
Right. Need a smooth exit.
You need to signal the end, clearly and politely. Use a phrase that acknowledges the interaction you just had.
Examples.
Something like, well, it was really nice chatting with you, but I should probably get going now. Or, look, I'd love to talk more, but I actually need to make a quick phone call. Maybe see you around.
So you acknowledge the chat, give a brief, real or made-up reason for leaving.
And maybe add a take care or have a good day. It just shows respect for their time and provides that smooth transition out rather than an abrupt stop.
That's really practical advice. Okay, so the value proposition here for the listener seems immense. Every single small conversation, even that 2-minute chat at the bus stop we broke down.
It's fantastic practice. Gold dust, really.
Why?
Because it builds muscle memory. Not just for the phrases themselves, but for the rhythm, the back and forth, the social timing of it all.
Right.
Learning to start a conversation, once you get past that mental block, it genuinely is like, as one source put it, getting a key to a new world.
How so?
It just opens up potential social connections, professional opportunities, even just small, pleasant interactions that you would completely miss out on if you always stayed silent.
It really does.
Yeah.
You know, we began this whole deep dive talking about one simple word, hello. And if that one simple word, when it's backed by a clear strategy, greet, check in, use a safe starter, smile, have an exit plan if that can open the door to maybe a new friend, or just get you some great English practice, or even just brighten someone's day with a sincere compliment, then what potential connection are you missing out on today, right now, just by staying silent? Go on, implement that smile we talked about, and just say hi.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and definitely use those strategic tools we discussed, especially that little powerhouse, the question tag, to make sure your conversation really gets off the ground.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into conversational keys. We really hope this has given you both the confidence and the practical blueprint you need to start speaking today.